Would you like some decade-old spoilers for a fanime that will never see episode 2? I'm going to talk about Prism for a bit while I redraw the scary cast picture from the opening theme. I'm giving myself a time limit to redraw this. I've pre-recorded this audio before drawing, and I'm going to listen to it while I draw, and I'm going to talk about each character one by one, and I only get to work on each character for as long as I talk about that one. I'm also drawing with colored pencils because I'm bad at traditional art, so I thought that'd be more fun. First is Asuko. I think there's something almost interesting there about Asuko. She doesn't really have female friends. She's in the computer club with these questionable guys. They both berate her for not trying hard in school. There's some stuff about her that got left on the cutting room floor, which is probably mostly for the best. Asuko was originally kind of based on, believe it or not, Sunohara from Clannad, who, if you don't know, is the foul-mouthed, misogynist, delinquent sidekick of the actual lead. If you want spoilers for Asuko's fate as one of the 9 girls fated to be executed by Prism, she lives. I think she is the only Prism girl who lives. They decide they don't need to kill her because her brain lets her forget everything that happens as a defense mechanism for all of the traumatic stuff. The end of Prism is bittersweet. Everyone's dead, but she's okay. Kind of. Emiri Kitahara. Emiri was actually meant to be a kind of different character. She was written to have 2 different voices, a high-pitched, overly sweet, and shy voice that she puts on when meeting the computer club for the first time, and then a much deeper and serious voice when she reveals who she really is to Asuko. The voice actor for this character, I think, still did that, but it was a much more subtle approach that I'm not sure how easy it is to pick up on. Emiri spent the whole series trying to protect Asuko. She has some deep devotion to spending her last days alive, making sure Asuko comes out of this okay, while meanwhile dragging her from execution to execution and exposing Asuko to lots of trauma for some reason. I don't really know where her devotion to Asuko comes from. My 14-year-old self writing this didn't seem interested in exploring that. In hindsight, I'll just say now that she was in love with her. Emiri has a cousin who is also a Prism girl, and they both kill each other, I think. Akira. Akira, I believe I intended for her to be one of the 3 main girls or characters. There's Asuko, Emiri, and Akira is also there for some reason. She's not a Prism girl, she's actually just a random runaway girl from episode 2 who asks to come along with Emiri and Asuko because she has nowhere else to go and no family. I have very little to say about her. She passes out in episode 3, and I don't remember if she ever wakes up again. Koro. Poor Koro, this lady who is just a nice lady who owns a hat shop and literally just adopted Akira and then she leaves. Actually, I could only find a man to voice Koro, so I changed the character design in episode 2. Was I going to change the opening theme? Would there just always be this random, strange, very tall lady here? Soichiro. I love what the voice actor for this character brought to him. He had a perfect voice for him. There's some foreshadowing in the OP for him. It's revealed in episode 3 that he works for Prism as a sniper, and he was assigned to keep an eye on Asuko's mental state. At that point, he acts like he was never really Asuko's friend, and only ever, asked her to walk home together with him so he could keep an eye on her further, and wasn't really because he had a crush on her like you're meant to believe in the first episode. I'm not sure whether he really did have feelings for her or not, but he definitely still cares about her and doesn't want her to die. He's a lot more of a serious character than episode 1 will lead you to believe. I guess he's just been faking being a goofball. Bara. She shows up in episode 3. She is one of the Prism girls and actually the only one to still work for them. She's kind of a double agent, helping out Emiri, but then also telling the CEO of Prism about Emiri's whereabouts, so she's really playing both sides, and I have no idea what her motivations were supposed to be. By the way, she and Soichiro have an arranged marriage, somehow arranged by Prism. This company needs an HR department. My. So when I wrote the script, she didn't have this ridiculous design yet. I was trying to make her look like a Kogal, Episode 3 is her episode. It turns out she's a Prism girl, and it's time for her to be executed, but all she wants to do is to deliver these cookies, or muffins, it's inconsistent in the script, to her new boyfriend Takashi. So there's this whole dramatic sequence where she keeps getting shot at a bunch by a bunch of Prism guys, but she still keeps walking until she reaches Takashi's doorstep so she can deliver her cookies. And then she dies in his arms, and Emiri dragged Asuka along to see the whole thing for some reason. Kago's brother. He has like 2 lines? Why is he here? He was voiced by Luigi the 42nd, by the way, who now voices Soil in Painting's Forefront. I'm guessing the brother's in the big cast picture to balance it out, like height and age-wise. So the story is that Kago's mother favors the brother and mistreats Kago, so much so that Kago must get away at all costs from this whole family. The voice actor for the mother, I gave her no directions, so she had no idea she was supposed to sound like an uncaring mother or abusive, and said all the lines while sweet and caring, so it actually comes across like Kago is raised by a perfectly nice mother, and has a delusion that her mother abuses her. Which interpretation is more edgy? You decide. Takashi. Takashi is one of Asuka's close friends. He spends the whole first episode crushing on Emiri. But then by episode 3, he is in love with Mai, so he sure moves on fast. I think he probably shows up in the very last episode again, like he and Asuka start their friendship back up and everyone else is dead. The voice actor for Takashi, Carbon XL, was a cool guy. If you're still out there, sorry I was a weirdo who hid behind a fake identity. My mom told me not to give away personal information online. Kago Tsuji. Episode 2 is all about her. She ran away from home because her mom is mean to her, but one of the runaways, who is not pictured here, I guess finds her mom's name in the phone book and gets her to come pick her up. Kago's mom is evil though, so Kago chops her own hand off to get away from her and almost bleeds to death, before also getting adopted by this random hat shop lady, and then Kago kills herself when she finds out her prism powers could turn her into a monster. Akie, the very last one. Akie was another one of the runaway girls from episode 2. Kinda mean girl, and what a twist, she turns out to also be a Prism girl. Lucky for Prism, everyone still lives in the general area, huh? She tries to kill Emiri with her newly awakened powers, but then Kago, who just killed herself, comes back to life for a second and kills Akie and then dies again. Alright, that's everybody. How does my drawing look? Since I recorded this before drawing, I have no idea. I hope it's beautiful. Thank you for watching.